There's a place I can get to stay away from the city blues. And it's green and it's quiet. Je suis Pierre Daniel, j'ai 37 ans. Je suis marié, j'ai 3 enfants et ça fait 10 ans qu'on vit au Qatar. We've been living in Qatar for 10 years now. And it's very funny because it feels like we've seen different Qatars already. The Qatar that we knew when we came first is very different to the Qatar that we have now. And we've loved every different Qatars that we've met and different Qatars that we've witnessed. Almost 15 years ago, we moved to London with my wife. We didn't have the kids at the time, of course. And I got the job at Al Jazeera, in Al Jazeera English that just started in London at the time. And I met Qataris for the first time as well in London that were my work colleagues. And this is how so-and-so, you know, eventually I came to Qatar to help. And the first time I came was in, I believe, 2006. Again, it was a very different Qatar at the time. And it was shocking for me. Like, I was not expecting this at all. I found the place very raw, in a very good sense. It was very genuine. People were very accessible. I met a lot of Qataris on my first trip here. We had a trip at Mesaid. So we went dune bashing with someone that I met for the first time. People were very welcoming. So the first time I heard about Qatar, people were telling, it's a field of rocks. There is nothing there. Don't go there. And I even was offered a job there, you know, through Al Jazeera. The mistake I made was to believe people, you know, instead of coming and visiting Qatar and seeing it from my own eyes. So of course, Qatar at the time was under development, but you know what they were criticizing, and when they brought to me as a negative, was the first thing I loved about Qatar. And again, the minute I stepped in the country, I saw a lot of energy, a lot of life, construction everywhere. People were criticizing construction. I was like, no, this is amazing. I come from a place, I love my country dearly, but people are a bit sad. You know? Here it was so ambitious and full of energy, they had vision. The first time we lived in, actually very close to the Corniche, so we could go and enjoy a walk on the Corniche every night. Shortly after, we moved to a villa in Garafa, and then this is where we spent the next 8 years. So Garafa was the home for us, you know, and actually we saw it growing. About a year and a half ago, we moved, and we moved to this location here, which is beautiful. It's West Bay Lagoon. When I came first, I believe there was not even a palm tree on the Corniche. I remember it was all rocks, and now they're refurbishing a lot. You know, it's very green. There's the parks. Also, it's very busy. Everyone's going there, and there is a life. With people coming to picnic. There is people coming to do sports. For the first 4 years, I've been fasting like fully with my Muslim friends. So I got to break iftar with them. They invited me in their home. And still nowadays, you know. I don't want to talk about how hard it is to fast. I want to talk about what a pleasure it was to share it with my friends. Because like we can discuss whether it's hard to fast, whether it's not. But really, what I want to say is like, I think one of the value of Ramadan and the fast is to share with people, to share their lives and to break the fast together. There is a community spirit in Islam that really shines during Ramadan. In this country, wherever you are, if you have a problem with your car, someone will stop to ask you if they want help. Like, I don't know how many times the police has changed my tire, or even Qataris. I could do it myself, you know, but you don't even have time to start. Someone is already coming to help you, you know. And people in thub, you know, they're dressed in white. I don't know, and they're coming to help you and everything. And I don't think you find that in every country, across the world. You know, there's a real duty in the culture to help the others. There's a British friend of mine, a very close friend, you know, he comes on and off here, and once he calls me from the UK. I was here in the sofa. He says, "Oh, when are you going back home again?" I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, he was meaning France, you know, for the holiday. Like, we go back, you know, to see the family. I was like, "I'm home," you know. I think for us, really, Qatar is home. Like, yeah. Actually, this year, in February, I decided to run around the country. So that is something as well I was trying to not give only to the Qatari people, but I was trying to show my love to the country. So I run 477 some kilometers around the country in 7 days. I do it with no assistance. I did it in full autonomy. And I did it with the support of Aspire. I did it with a tracking system so people could follow me. And I was trying to bring as many images of this challenge as possible. I had two objectives. One was to do a demonstration of human potential, to show that all of us have that inner strength. All of us can live a healthy lifestyle, an active lifestyle, and also to showcase the natural beauty of the country. I started from Doha, and on day one I went from Doha to Al-Dakira, the port, where we can see the mangrove and everything. On day two, I was running from Dakira to Arhuais in the north and Shamal city. From Arhuais, I was starting the setup of the world record. So I started running from Arhuais to Zikrit or Dukhan, passing by Zubara Fort, so across the desert. Then Umbab, from Umbab, the border crossing in Salwa. And then I cut across a beautiful region here, which is in the south. So this would be Inland Sea, and this is actually a fantastic place. And this is Almeria here in the middle, Harara, and then Said, and all the sand dunes and sea lines. And on the last day, I went all the way up to Doha again. Because we loved Qatar a lot, you know, like I think they're very attached to Qatar as well in this way. Definitely it's home for them because they were born here. I don't think we were planning to have 3 kids before we moved to Qatar. Maybe 1 or 2, you know, like it's the average in France.
أنا اسمي مود، أنا فرنسية، أنا بسكن في قطر. Back in 2007, Pierre had a couple of missions in Qatar, so he stayed for a couple of weeks at his work premises for a mission. And he came back to London, where we were living, and said, you know, I think Qatar is the place to be. He took a lot of pictures of actually the streets and West Bay and Sea Line. I could feel really have a sense of the landscapes and the people and the infrastructures. We grow a family here. I mean, that means I think it's a better testimony I can tell about Qatar. We feel home. We feel it's a safe place. We believe the health system is amazing. Education is great. It's very safe to live here. The weather is incredible all year long. There is everything, you know, I could ever dream of. So yes, we're very happy here. When I firstly got pregnant with my first daughter, Chloe, everybody was asking me, so are you going to deliver at home, somewhere else, or in Qatar? And Pierre and I were very sure that I wanted to deliver in Qatar because we wanted to stay together. When Chloe was born, I think on the first day, 11 nationalities came to visit her. So that was maybe, I don't know, 20, 25 people, 11 different nationalities that came and greet us and congratulate us, and it was amazing. My family came after 2 weeks, and so that was good to have just, you know, us, Pierre, the baby and I, and our friends. So technically our Doha family. And actually we did that for kid number 2 and kid number 3, exactly the same pattern. Qatar, they've brought the best curriculum for primary, secondary school and university now is just incredible. When it was the time to choose a school for my first kid, there were not that many choices, but nowadays it's just incredible, and it's really hard to choose the curriculum because Qatar has just chosen the best. I'll start with what Qatar offered me personally, offered values, really taking times to understand what I'm meant to become and I'm meant to be. And I've got different things that I really enjoy to do, and I could have the opportunity to do them in Qatar. So in the personal level, I love music, for example, and I had the chance in Qatar, not in France, not in the UK, but in Qatar, I had the chance to play music, sing music, be on the stage of the National Theatre. Qatar is home for me. This is a place where we feel that that's home.
I started working for Al Jazeera in London, and then I moved to Al Jazeera Doha in the main office here in Qatar, somewhere around 2008. And a few years later, I was approached to work for the Aspire Zone Foundation. We're here now, and I couldn't refuse this offer, although I was very happy in Al Jazeera because it was bringing together two of my passions, which is my work, design and brand, but also sports, which has been and still is now a big part of my life. Working for Aspire is very exciting because we get to do a lot of things. It's a sports city. It's so many different things in the same time. We have a hospital, we have an academy that develops athletes, we have one of the stadiums for the World Cup 2022. So it's very exciting. We get to do a lot of different things, and there's a lot of small things that marked me. I was lucky to be part of the team that was developing the Step into Health program. And at the time we did a full branding about it. So we created the small green walker and the chance to even draft the first sketch of it. So I'm one of the fathers of the green walker that's part of the Step into Health program. Aspire is a very complicated list. It's huge, it's a sports city, and it's got talented and professional people in many different fields. And one of the fields that Aspire has developed in-house, it's IT and product development related to sports. So there is a huge technology department here that is, huge in terms of how much they can produce. And they are developing, one of the things they do, they're developing products for related to sports, so IT and technological products related to sports. And they took part in developing an application that was a tracking system for athletes for the Samla race a few years ago. So they wanted to make sure they could track the athletes across the desert, because it's a very long endurance race, to make sure they wouldn't lose anyone first, keep an eye on the leaderboard as well, and also track their health. So they have a real-time monitoring system for the athletes' health. So they're using different devices to make sure that they can keep track with the heartbeats of the athletes and many other features. The same technology was used in my run around Qatar. Yeah, I'm very excited and I'm looking forward to 2022. Aspire will play a role in organizing the World Cup. Khalifa Stadium is one of the major stadiums for the World Cup, and I cannot wait to see the players, to have the excitement, the crowd rushing to Aspire Zone to see the games. We followed the World Cup in Russia, and we are very happy that France won the World Cup. It was an amazing World Cup. I think all the teams have done a great job. And then and we saw the final here in Qatar with a lot of French people and a lot of Qataris too. So it was an amazing moment, and we knew that France would be defending their title in Qatar. So for us, it's a lot of mixed feelings. My kids were born here, so they feel their home is Qatar. I think we will be torn. Like if we're lucky, France and Qatar will not be in the same group. I just really wish the Qatari team to have a great World Cup, which I know they will.
تعرفت على صديقي بيار قبل حوالي 5 سنين. كنا في رحلة من فينيس إلى شتوتغارت بالدراجة مع دراجي قطر، كنا حوالي 24 دراج تقريبا. فالرحلة كانت ممتازة صراحة، وتعرفت عليه عن قرب بعدين لأن جرينا كذا مرة في الدوحة من خلال رحلته عبر قطر. جريت أنا معاه شوية في الخان وجريت معاه على طريق الشمال، وأنا صراحة أفتخر أني أتعرف على إنسان مثل بيار، لأنه إنسان نشيط واجتماعي وصار له فترة طويلة في قطر وتعرف على معالم قطر يمكن أكثر منا إحنا، لأنه راح مشي وجري حول قطر كاملة. يعني أعتقد قطع فوق ال 500 كيلو خلال أسبوع. عندنا مشروع إن شاء الله أنا وبيار بالدراجة حول قطر. المفروض المفروض المشروع هذا يعني تعليمي وتحفيزي أيضا للمجتمع بشكل عام. بنمر خلال الرحلة هذه على المدارس، خصوصا المدارس الابتدائية إن شاء الله.
Saute. Mets ton pied dans l'eau, comme ça faut pas.
So when it comes to the place we like in Qatar, we like to change, actually. We don't have we have favorite spots, but we like to go to different spots every time. The Zikrit Desert, Shehaniya Farm, all the parks in Doha, and it's actually flourishing by the years. Sea Line, of course. We learned a lot about the Qatari culture. We arrived nearly 10 years ago, and we didn't have kids at the time, so we were a single couple, newly married, and we had a lot of Qatari friends, but also actually many more nationality friends. So it was really diverse, and we got really attached to the Qatari culture for enthusiasm that they have to progress. And we find that the culture is really making sure you are in a safety zone.